All right, it's lesson two. We're going to talk today about adding all the people that respond from everything we talked about last week with your Haven't Met campaign. Like, how are you going to reach out to homeowners that probably don't really know who you are, that are cold? What type of message you're going to put in front of them at scale? Because you're going to have to reach a lot of people to find somebody who actually wants to sell their home soon, just statistically. And then whoever does respond, because you'll have people that, aren't ready to like sell right now, they want to sell later. Whatever responds and gives you permission to stay in touch, we want to make sure we get those people into your database, onto your 36 touch with viral, remarketed on social media, all the reasons you're paying us money. All right. So just to be clear, viral does not do anything in lesson one, but I can help you at viral for everything from lesson 2 through 8. Okay. So before we go into the lesson today of how to actually export and set up all your databases correctly, so when we actually run the marketing to your database, people see it and the right people see it. Let's recap on last week. All right. So the prerequisite to this course is I wanted you guys to read the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, written like 2006 from Gary Keller. It's a wonderful book. Specifically, the chapters on the lead generation model, where it just breaks your world into the people you haven't met and people you've met. Virals for your Mets. Last week we talked about your haven't Mets. Just to be really clear. And the fastest path to the cash is basically just buying or downloading or building a list of your target market, and then putting all of your energy and all your focus and all your capital, your resources into that list to get them to respond with the direct response offer to add them to your Mets, right? So last week we went around and we figured out what is your strategy going to be to build your database. So David, let's start with you. Seller workshops is what you want to do. Is that right?
Yes.
Got it. And then you picked a target area of Las Vegas. What area is that?
The northwest part of Las Vegas with home sites greater than 13,000 square feet.
Cool. Now, did you log into PropStream or Remind to pull that list?
Yes, just whatever that service is through my local MLS,
Perfect.
it gives access to all the public property records.
Yeah, no matter what when it comes to public property records, no matter what service you use, it's all the same.
Yeah.
This is all coming from the same place. So
So
how many properties are on that list?
2,100.
Okay. So how are you going to invite them to the workshop?
I am going to send them a letter.
Beautiful. Okay. And did you write it up? Did you write the invite letter? Did you create the Eventbrite page? Did you?
I did create the Eventbrite page, and so the sign up page is all ready. Uh, and yeah, everything's set there. They can click register, get a ticket, and it's an online a virtual event.
Mhm.
And so that's all that's been determined. I don't have the sales letter written though, or any plan yet developed as to what cadence I would use or how regular often I would reach them.
I would make sure that it hits their mailbox 2 weeks before your event. I would definitely send it first class. The mailing house, you can print them off and do them in your office, or you can use a mail house. There's many mail houses you can use. The one that I like is itidirectmail.net. I would just send a number 10 white envelope, black and white in the front, return address, then their address, and one-page letter, picture of you. Hey, are you thinking of selling? I'm teaching a seminar. It's this date, this time. I want to invite you to a free ticket. Here's the agenda here. Here's everything you're going to learn. I'm going to promise you all these benefits. Go here and get a ticket, which should probably be, something.eventbrite.com. So you can probably create the, you know, Vegas seller workshop.eventbrite.com, and they can just either call to get register, or they can go to the link and register right on Eventbrite. That's it. I wouldn't overcomplicate it much like that. And then whenever you're doing your mail, always use the principle that the more personal it looks, the more personal mail it comes across as, the better. So it gets in the A pile, not the B pile of trash. All right. And just make sure you place the order. So it probably hits the mailbox about 2 weeks before. Then the next thing you can do, I'll give you two more tips, is go to datazap.com. And there's many email append services. Why don't you go ahead and by any emails that might be associated with those homeowners, upload them to Eventbrite, and send them the same message through Eventbrite to register. Email them. Okay. And then I'll even throw one more on there. You can use Data Zap, and there's a gazillion services that will append information, but you're certainly welcome to buy the phone numbers. That might be the phone numbers for these homeowners and give them a call to invite them. Those are pretty much the main three things you can do, right?
Okay. Now, now that so in relationship to like the lead generation model that we talked about that you talked about from the
Yeah.
millionaire real estate agent.
Hmm.
So that's in over the course of 2 weeks before the event, three
Hmm.
touches.
Yeah.
And that is like a mini. So would that be like a mini 12 by a mini 12 direct?
I
But
would, yeah, I guess so. So the idea would be is you could hold these all over the city. So let's say this goes well. Let's do one in another area. You could arguably slice up Vegas into 12 areas and do one workshop a month where you kind of start the process a couple weeks before seeing who wants to register. That's the idea. All right. But why don't you go ahead and work on the letter, setting the date, making it happen, and like all the message you can model from everyone else that you've seen online when you Google Seller Workshop. Just as long as it's somewhat close to that, you'll be just fine. All right.
okay.
The biggest advice with that is make sure you keep the content specific and mention specificities as much as possible to that area in your messaging. So the messaging comes across as this workshop is specifically for that area town. Okay. All right. Rob, from last week, just to recap, you're going to go after all the distressed sellers in Mesa.
Yes,
I believe, if I remember, we I recommended dropping something off at their door. Was that right?
that's right.
Okay. So I want you to go download this software program, Routific,
Yep,
and then upload a runner could, if they're in the same zip code, a full-time runner can probably hit 100 doors in a day, about. So I would just take a zip code. Let's just assume there's 100 houses. Upload them all into Routific, and it will plan the route, dude. Is that cool? Like a
yeah.
UPS driver. And then
Except paid much less.
so paid, yeah, 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 no Teamsters union, right? Um, and let's go put something on their door. I would recommend you just put it on the door and you ring the doorbell and leave. The person that stands there is going to have to be a lot more higher talent if they're going to have a conversation. But I think just putting it on the door, ringing the doorbell and leave, and it could just be a envelope with maybe the address on it, because you probably don't really even know what their name is sometimes, and just tape it to the door.
Okay.
That's it. Um, Make sure you do it during daylight hours, not night. And you might want to pull like a starburst or something in the letter to weigh it down because the wind might flop it off. This is in the trenches from doing this. All right.
That way they have an incentive to open it up and get the starburst.
Sure. Yeah. And then the message will be, hey, I'm trying to reach you. I have a buyer for your house. Call me. Find out what they can pay. Sound good? Do you have any questions on your have it met strategy?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have any questions on your have it met
Oh,
strategy?
um, sorry. So I think with the list, as long as I get the runner, I have the message to share.
Mhm.
Um, and then, when they're calling, I don't think there's an issue there. So just a matter of converting once you get them to reach out.
Time
Is
and
there,
money. It's
is,
just, you just got to kind of Neanderthal your way against it, man. It's getting in the car and just putting on the doorstep and just doing as many as you can to get the odds in your favor.
and how is that a one-time thing? How frequently do you feel like the touches on that should be?
On that list,
Yep.
monthly.
Okay.
Yeah. On that list, I'd hit them once a month. Something on their door. That's just anecdotal. That's how I feel. All right.
Okay.
So there you go. Okay. A little tip There's a KW Maps coach by the name of Christina Griffin, who's probably the best I've ever heard of when it comes to going after the type of distress properties you're going after. And if you Google Christina Griffin, maybe even Frank Klesitz, because I interviewed her, we specifically talk about how to speak to the market you're going after.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Perfect.
Cool. I just want to make, because remember, for lesson one, we can spend like days on cold outbound prospecting strategies. But for the sake of the class, I just want to touch on it briefly because the nature of doing viral marketing begs the question, how do I build my database in the first place? Right. And I want to give you guys a simple, legitimate, sound plan that's not, you know, unlikely to work. Brandy, let's go to you. Austin, Texas. All right. You picked Pflugerville, is that right?
I did. Yeah, I'm actually at my title company now because I have a meeting with them
Good. Get the list.
to go, yeah, to get the list. So I'm here now, but I do have a little bit of a plan I want to run by you.
Sure.
So I was thinking about how I wanted to roll this out, and I think that my list is not going to be too, I don't know if it'll be huge. So I may be able to hit a larger number of
Mhm.
homes. So what I was thinking was doing like a jumbo postcard every 3 weeks and just commit to it for a period of time. No?
No postcard. That's junk mail. Don't do it.
Okay, so the letter.
Yes.
Okay,
Letters
but
okay.
okay. So on the letter, can I, or what do you think about the strategy of having like a QR code for like a video
No,
series?
no,
No.
absolutely not. I will save you. No,
Oh, I thought I had such a good idea.
it is a good idea, but it's too risky. I'm telling you from someone that has done it. Call, call.
Okay.
Yeah. Understand that you are the obstacle. Nobody wants you as a realtor. They want the buyer and they want the home sold. They have to get through you to get what they want. I am also your obstacle. You have to pay me to do marketing to get the lead, right?
Yeah.
So your messaging will perform better if you're featuring the buyer and not yourself. And I know that goes against everything you've been taught in like direct mail realtor marketing, because whenever I tried to do it, my phone never rang. And then when I went to like super high end, very expensive direct mail training, and they taught me these principles, I'm like, okay, that's an entirely different way of thinking about the entire problem. I'm willing to try something different. And then it worked. So I'm totally down with the list. So let's go back again. Again, if you're asking me, I'll give you my answer. All right. How many people are you going to put on your mailing list? So first, let me actually go back. David, how many, you have 2,200 or so on your list. Rob, how many are on your list? It'll be less in Mesa. How many total distressed
It's
properties
under
are?
500.
Okay. So you have a 500 person Have It Met list. Brandy, how many people are going to be on your Have It Met list you're going to reach out to build your database?
I was thinking 500.
Okay, 500. Um, you're going to have to go higher. I'm just telling you the statistical probability of somebody in a sample size of 500 to actually reach somebody who wants to sell a home is very low. The odds are the statistical odds are against you with 500. All right. And I will tell you that if you worked for me and I was paying you a salary and like we talked about this conversation, I'd be like, no, too much risk. We gotta reach more people if we want to make money now. All right. Go ahead, David.
What is that sweet spot, or is there a sweet spot of size?
A few thousand at an absolute bare minimum.
So
So you've hit it, Dave. You're fine. You have a few thousand bare minimum. Rob, 500. You have a really niche list though of people that are highly motivated. I give you a pass. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Um, Brandy, yours is just a neighborhood for the most part, right?
Yeah, it's going to be within, well, kind of, I think within couple of zip codes, neighborhoods. Yeah.
So here's the deal. So I want you to reach out with a message. What's going to be the message in your letter you're going to mail them? Remember the 3 messages we talked about last week?
Hmm.
Pick one. What's the call to action?
Let me go back, Frank.
I got you. Don't worry. So Brandy's, for those of you watching, Brandy's coming off of a world of branding, and you can see it. So she's been thinking in the world of branding.
Yes, I have.
Yep. And
Okay.
I'm switching you to thinking direct response advertising. Very hardcore, cutting edge, direct response advertising.
Oh, I do have a question about the workshop. Can the workshop be
Okay.
Online, like
Yes.
Zoom call?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, because I think that is,
That's what you want?
I
Do it.
think, but I mean, you said they don't want me, they want the buyer. So does the workshop
shouldn't-
need to be about getting the buyers, or
Yes.
should I say that I work with a lot of buyers?
The workshop should be about getting them their highest price on their home with the least amount of effort. And you're going to reveal all the strategies, skip all the pain and suffering to make sure that if they want to sell their home, it's an easy, quick fix, magical, painless, problem solved button right now for the max amount of cash.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what they want to hear. I mean, the other way you can do it is like, hey, here's how great I am. Here's how much experience I am. Here's all about me, 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 me. Come here for me. Right. And there's
Right.
maybe like a paragraph of that, but it's really more about selling your home for the most money, least amount of time. So I think there's a guy, Chris Lindahl, that did these. So go listen. If you're going to do the seller workshop, go listen to the Sue Adler stuff I shared last week. Oh yeah. Here, look. Here, let's listen to it again. Let's listen to the message and see how it's all about them and their benefits. All right. This is sellerworkshop.com.
Everyone knows that the real estate market is hot right now, but what we've seen over the past several months is homeowners are just throwing their home on the market recklessly, and they are losing tens of thousands of dollars, and they don't even know it. I've sold thousands and thousands of homes throughout my career, and there are simple steps that you can take as a homeowner that will help you get significantly more money. That's why we put together these free seller workshops to educate you, the homeowner. We know that homeowners deserve to be empowered when it comes time to sell your home. Think about how most people you know have sold their home. They throw it on the MLS, they put a sign in the yard, and they hope that people show up. We have a strategy that we've developed that's helped us help homeowners get significantly more money when it comes time to sell their home. So for the first time ever, we're pulling back the curtain and we're gonna share everything that we've developed so that you can implement it and get more when it comes time to sell your home. Secure your free ticket below right now, and I'll see you at our
There's the call to action.
seller workshops.
That's a 1-minute spot. You can run that on TV and radio. See that? You got that down to 1 minute. And then you can go there and you can kind of see how to make 30, 60 grand more, my seller secrets. I'm sure you do just fine with modeling this copy. Sound good? How's that?
Yes. Yeah, I
And
like
then
that. I'll go
and
and watch them.
yeah. So for example, so again, here are the 3 call to action we talked about last week. Come to my seller workshop, get a cash offer, or find out what your home is worth. Those are the 3 main ones. So it's like, oh, if you don't want that, by the way, if you don't want to come to the workshop and you want to know maybe, do you qualify for an off-market instant cash offer? Put your information in. Or if you want to find out what your home is worth, put your information in. You can lead with any of those 3 offers. Okay.
Okay. I like
All right.
that.
So
Okay.
you're gonna do seller workshop.
Yes.
All right. So the same assignment as last week for Dave then. You need to go create your Eventbrite page. And I want you to speak to the people in Pflugerville and write it so people can register and sign up and get their free ticket and create the promotional copy. And then you have to put together the letter, assuming you want to mail them. And then you're welcome to append email addresses and send them an invite through Eventbrite. And you're welcome to append phone numbers and call them. But you want to try to get them to take a free ticket. And there's your lead. It's a great lead, by the way. The seller workshop lead's a great lead. How's that, Brandy?
Yes, I'm going to ethically hijack that guy's I was kind of taking notes, but I see what you were talking about, and what he said and what I wrote down was empower you, more money, sharing
Yeah.
secrets, like, and so yeah, it was
Money,
all the trigger.
money. Yeah.
Mhm.
When in doubt, money. I'm going to help you sell your home for the highest possible price. I mean, probably the company in the country that has that offer better than anyone else in, like, I think 200 different markets. 72 sold. Whether or not they can deliver on or not is one thing. At least the message is strong. I will help you get a higher price for your home. Rob knows what I'm talking about. You can't throw a stone in Phoenix without seeing this ad, right?
All over the place, everywhere.
72 Sold, a better way to sell your home. Who are we? We are an international company that does billions in
We're a lead generator for real estate agents.
sales and was just ranked in the top 300 fastest growing companies in America.
Yeah. But yeah, so their whole call to action is, make more money. See that? Like, make more money, make more money, make more money. Call us, you'll get the most money for your home. That's kind of their message. So hopefully, if there's anything that's come from lesson 1 and lesson 2, because I want to get in the material today. Frank, how do I build my database? Remember the triangle: message, media, market? We picked a market. We got very focused, didn't we? When in doubt, probably go larger. Okay. Reach more people. That's called reach. Pick a message that's a direct response advertising message with a strong call to action, and just model what's working in the industry and just rip off and duplicate. But then you have to pick your media. How are you going to deliver that message to the market? And you guys picked your various strategies. And now it's a matter of just praying and honestly having statistics in your favor where you're picking a sample size that's large enough to be representative of the total population. Because when you're at the title company today, Brandy, I really think you should ask the title company, hey, will you chop up Austin by zip code for me? I want to know how many single family homes are in each zip code and how many sold in the past 12 months. And then divide that. And the higher that number per zip code is, the better odds at the blackjack table. You're going to go shop the casinos to figure out who's going to pay you the most odds in your payouts. And it's going to be the zip code that has the highest turnover rates. That arguably isn't dominated by, let's say, a single agent. How's that sound, Brandy? So the way we mess up Pflugerville, all else being equal, is it has the lowest turnover rate because no one's moving. And we didn't mail enough. Those are the two things out of your control I would try to put on your side of picking the target market. Okay. All right. Let's move on to lesson 2. How's that, everyone? Okay. So let's now talk about, you start getting response. Rob, people are calling you from your stuff on the doors.
Yep.
For what it's worth, the people that call and really yell at you, I want you to convert those people because they're the most stressed out and might hit a sell. All right. You're going to get that. All right.
Great.
David, people are going to register for the workshop. Same thing with you, Brandy. What are you going to do with all those registrants? You think they're all going to want to sell their home today? We got to put them on a touch plan. Well, you got viral. So let's talk about that process. So first off is you need to pick a CRM you actually use, because they go into your CRM as a contact or a lead or whatever the methodology is. And feel free to share. I want to know, Rob, what is your CRM of choice?
Sync.
Right. Now, I'm not sure how Sync works. That's Commissions Inc. I want you to go in there and create a lead source for what you're doing with here, or a campaign or a lead source. Anyone that calls in, you're going to put them into Sync. You're going to put them in as a lead, and you're going to make sure that they get into Commissions Inc. with their phone number, their email address, and the property address, and even the mailing address. Like, if you can actually have in Sync the property address and the mailing address options, because a lot of times the mailing address, especially on like non-owner occupied property, is different. Well, obviously is different than the property address. Get all that information when someone responds, and put it in the sync. Are we clear?
Yes.
All right. Really important, or else I can't do anything. I mean, if we don't do that, lessons 2 through 8 are useless. All right. Dave, what's your CRM of choice?
Follow Up Boss.
Beautiful. Great choice. All right. I want you to go in there and create a campaign or a lead source, whatever they call it, for Northwest Vegas workshop. Sound good? And anybody that registers or responds gets added to that campaign or that lead source. And you're going to grab their email address and their phone number and their contact information, and ideally their property address and their mailing address. Sound good? That. And then if you want to do something fancy where you link your Eventbrite to Follow Up Boss, I'm sure you can do it where it automatically puts it in. Okay.
Okay.
Brandy, what's your CRM?
I'm actually using one called Mayshore Method,
Okay, that's fine.
but it does all the same things.
They all do the same things. At this
Mhm.
point with CRMs, it's just featureitis of like,
Yeah.
it's just going to make it more complicated. Create a campaign, create a lead source, you're add them all in there, and you might be able to link it up where somebody registers on Eventbrite, it pushes all the information right into your CRM. All right.
Okay.
But please make sure you get all their contact information. Okay. Now, we have to make sure that not only does their email address and contact information go into your CRM, but it needs to get pushed into your My Emma account. So at Viral, we're not sending the emails through your CRM, we're sending them through another email program. In this case, it's Emma. Okay. First of all, I'd like you guys to all email your contact at Viral right now and say, hey, Frank said, can you invite me into my email account? So you can actually log in there and see it. So I can add you as a user to your own email account. We can do that. All right. And you have two options here. You're either going to have to manually once a month download everything out of your CRM and re-import it into Emma to get the latest contacts. Or two is we need to use middleware to set up a real-time sync. So whenever someone's added to your CRM, it automatically pushes to your My Emma account. And if you want to spend a little extra money and use middleware, it's like duct tape to the internet. You have two options that I know of. One is Zapier, $20 a month. And assuming your CRM's on Zapier, you would go into Zapier and you would say, okay, every time a new contact is created or updated in my CRM, push that over to your My Emma account and create or update a contact in My Emma. That's it. Set and forget. You guys got it? And that, by the way, is for any contact you add. Comes in from Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever lead sources. So whenever someone goes into the database, into the CRM, that information is automatically pushed over to your email account, right? You have a second option that's a little more specific to real estate. It's a company called RealSync, RealSynch. And they too will push any new contact from your CRM into your email marketing account. All right. That's it. Or if you want to spend the extra money, just set an appointment in your calendar, download it, export it, and send it in. Does the exact same thing. Sound good? All right. Next, not only do you want to make sure that that new person is getting your email drips that we'll send out through the viral plan, but we want to make sure we can stalk them and follow them around everywhere on Facebook, right? So we have to make sure that it gets updated as a custom audience on your Facebook account. So Zapier will do the same thing too. Is inside your Facebook ad account, this is one of the things that we do for you through the build process, is we're going to create an audience, a list inside your Facebook ad account, just like you would create a list inside your email marketing account. Same thing. You create a list called database. Got it? And then we would link every single contact that's added or updated in your CRM gets pushed to your Facebook ad account to the database audience. It's a second Zap. Got it? And you have to use Zapier for that. RealSync doesn't do that. So now here's the key. Every time you add now that we have a plan to actually add sellers who are motivated that reached out to you with permission to your database, got it? The second you add them to your respective CRMs, they get pushed to your email marketing program right away. and they get pushed to a Facebook remarketing audience right away if we set up that middleware. You guys catch me on this? Or it's a once a month manual export re-upload. Either option. Any questions on that? And we can show you how to do that. So Viral does this for you. If you actually sit down with us and say, hey, I want to set this up, we do it. It's your Zapier account, and we'll set up the zaps. It's 2 zaps.
So Frank, with that, what you're saying is we upload the database, and then it gets it gets sent out to the emails, the video emails that go out each month, and the 36 touches. But with the remarketing, how
Same concept,
that
yeah.
part.
So we'll get to this later, but you will export your whole database and upload it to Facebook. Just think of Facebook ad account and your email account is like the same thing. It's you load a list in there and you send a message. Except Facebook, you load a list and you make a post. Just think of it like an email account. Think of Facebook as like another email account. All right. And we just want to make sure that any new contact that goes in your CRM gets sent on over to your Facebook ad account or your email account.
I have a question for you, Frank, about that. So the videos that your team is putting out, do we need to set this up with them that they would hit this database or
oh yeah
does that
we're gonna hit it. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. We're gonna hit everybody in your CRM. So you're building it, but there's also a bunch of people in there as well. We want to hit all the people in there as well. I'll get that here in a minute. I'm just more worried about you get the contact information, you have to either link it or manually put it into CRM. Like getting it into the CRM is like the equivalent of just showing up as success. Got it? And once a CRM, I can't do anything with it until now you get it out of the CRM. So I need to push it over to an email program that we're going to use. I need to push it over to a marketing audience. If we don't get that going, I'm useless. I'm dead in the water. All right. So, but all the contacts that are sitting in there, we'll go into here in a minute how to bring those over. All right. So now next, so now we have your email marketing account, which we'll set up for you. And now either we have set up a time to manually export and bring everything over, it only adds the new ones, or you have a Zapier thing set up. When we send your emails, a little tip, I got to make sure these end up in the inbox. Want to make sure your emails actually end up in the inbox when I send a blast email out to your list. So work with your contact at Viral. There's authentication we need to set up inside your email account called SPF and DKIM. Don't worry about what it means. Okay, you actually forget those terms. The point is, so Brandy, if I were to email you, what's your email address?
It's Brandy at Atkins Real Estate Group.
Where's the domain name for Atkins Real Estate Group?
GoDaddy.
Perfect. We need to log into GoDaddy. And we got to put some code, call them text records or CNAME records in there to match it up to your email account. So when someone gets an email from that email, it doesn't show up spam or spoofing or go to spam. I have to authenticate and link your Emma email account to your domain. And we do that through what's called SPF and DKIM authentication. If we get that set up, we maximize the chances of your email actually ending up in the inbox. Sound good?
Yeah, I think you guys did that. You do that automatically, don't you?
We should. This is a good time to double check.
Okay.
All of this is, so here's the deal. All of this is in our build process. It rarely gets fully executed because you're busy. It's like, hey, we need access to your GoDaddy. Okay, here's the password. Password doesn't work. Okay, we logged in. Oh, it's 2-step authentication. Oh, we don't have the number anymore. Can't get in, right? And we're like dragging. So I let them know that if we can't get in, just go and send it, but you may not have the authentication set up because there's something we're waiting on your end. All right, so just be aware of that. It happens a lot. So, okay, so now the next thing we have to set up, these are just things I would double check that we go through in the build process, is that you need a Facebook ad account. All right. So your ad account looks something like this. Here's mine at Viral. I'll just show it to you. Here you go. This is an ad account where you can log in and Let's take a look here. You can see all your audiences for your lists and your ad reporting and your billing. This is how you run Facebook ads. It looks something like this. And for example, here's some campaigns that you might see for viral. Here they all are. And this is where you set up your retargeting and all this stuff through Facebook and Instagram and whatnot. All right. You see this little number up here for your ad account? We have to make sure you actually have one. And inside the ad account, we have to make sure that viral marketing has access to it. So I can go in there and actually make the ads in your account. Then not only do we have to make sure we have access to it, I need to make sure we go into your billing and make sure that you have a card on it so I can charge. All right. And that's like kind of step one, making sure you have an ad account and then that we have access to it and your card's on there. So if I want to run the retargeting ads now that the information is getting synced over, it's possible. By the way, this lesson is like one of the most technical lessons of class. Your eyes might glaze over. I'm telling you, we don't have this, it doesn't get done. This is like the tyranny of the actual how. There is no way around this. All right. So now that we're in your Facebook ad account, okay, I can run ads on Facebook, but I can't run them on Instagram unless you link your Instagram to your Facebook. So we need to make sure that your Instagram is linked to your Facebook. You guys holding it all together so far with all these nuances? Because if you get this set up, I can do my job. Like I just need to make sure I got to work with you to make sure it's all there. And the last thing that you want, here's what companies do when you don't play ball with getting these things set up. They just go create new ones to get paid and you don't know. So it gets going, but they own it and you don't. So when you fire them, next thing you know, you have 3 different Facebook pages, 4 different ad accounts. You know what I mean? It's better if we just work from one and we take the time and you invite us into it. All right. So make sure we link your Facebook page to your Instagram. I'm going to keep going here now. All right. So not only inside your Facebook account will we be able to run ads to everybody that's in your database, because chances are the email address or the phone number will match up to their account on Facebook and I can put ads in front of them. Is that great? But you know how when you visit a website and you start seeing the ads everywhere, just a website visitor, that's called retargeting. Like probably more how you think about it, right? Like you can do database retargeting, but you can also retarget all of your website visitors. Okay. Inside your Facebook account, it's going to give you a piece of code. It's called the metapixel. That's what they call it now. And that piece of code, that metapixel, needs to go on every single website you own. Okay. So whenever someone goes to any of those websites, you can follow them around forever with your ads. You can retarget them. But if the pixel isn't on the websites or site, you ain't going to get retargeted if they show up on your website. All right. So inside your Facebook ad account, you could pull up your metapixel. It'll be a long, gnarly number. And what I'd like you to do is there's a little add-in called the Metapixel Helper, I believe, for Chrome. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, the Metapixel Helper. Okay. And if you install that, I'll just go to the viral marketing website really quick. Do you see this little thing right here? Little pixel helper? I actually have 4 different metapixels installed on the homepage of Viral. I don't know why. But do you see how it has the ending in 88, ending in 93, ending in 15, ending in 22? Let's make sure that it actually, whatever website you go to, actually has the metapixel, the pixel ID here, matches up to the one in your Facebook ad account. So what you might find is if you worked with lots of lead gen companies over the years, you're going to have a whole bunch of these on your site linked up to their ad account, not yours. Okay, even though you might have the pixel there. This happens all the time. Let's just make sure that the pixel that is on your website or websites matches the ID of the one in your Facebook ad account. I want you to see why I started doing these classes and taking you guys through this. Frank, I'm not getting any results. Frank, no one's seeing my videos. Frank, I'm not getting business. Like, okay. Let's talk about lesson one. Are we building it, right? And then I have the terrible discussion of, well, are the emails getting delivered? Or do we have the retargeting audiences? Like these little nuances. Oh, did you realize that we're retargeting a pixel that wasn't even in your ad account for the past year? So no one was getting retargeted because we never checked the pixel code, right? So if we do this stuff, I have flies all over me. Do the work now, it'll be set up correctly. Let's keep going. Okay. Any questions on that so far? Those little nuances. Again, there's a recording of this and there's a checklist that we take you through your build process, but I think it'd be helpful to double check everything we discussed today to make sure that's being set up correctly. Go ahead, Rob.
What you're saying is the metapixel helper is that button that if you put that on there, that's what's going to pop up. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like go to all your websites, make sure that's installed, and make sure the one that's installed is the one that has the code that's actually in your ad account, not someone else's. Okay. And put it on all your websites. Now, pro tip, put it on your lender site. Anyone else that you know that has an audience of buyers or sellers that show up on their website, ask them to do you a solid and tell them to put your pixel code on their site too, so you can retarget all their traffic. Isn't that kind of cool? Just a pro tip, not do it, but it's a very easy thing to do. So Brandy, you're at the title company. A title company, put this on your website. And then you can follow their traffic around everywhere. All right. Cool. All right. So now the infrastructure is set up to build your list of the right people, put them into your CRM, assign from the right campaign so you can measure ROI. And when you put them into your CRM, they go into your Facebook ad account, and I have what I need to run ads to them. And they go into your email marketing account, and I have what I need to send emails to them. Fair enough? But that's all for your new contacts going forward. So starting today, if this was set up, any new contacts you add are on the system. But what about all the existing contacts that you have sitting in your CRM? How do I make sure I have all of those as well? Well, you're going to export. So Dave, you're going to go into Follow Up Boss again. I want you to export everything you got in there. But if you can, leave out anyone who's unsubscribed and leave out anyone who's bounced. If that's possible, if it gives you that as options. I'd like you to go into your Follow Up Boss and just dump the whole thing. Less unsubscribes and bounces. Rob, I want you to go into Sync, dump the whole thing. Less unsubscribed and bounces. And then Brandy, I forget what your CRM is. Export the whole thing, less unsubscribes and bounces. You'll have a big gnarly spreadsheet, send it into us, and we're going to scrub it. We use a program called Never Bounce, which removes all the bad emails. And then we're going to upload it into your email account and make sure that all your latest contacts are in there from basically arguably today and prior. But today going forward after this lesson, if it was set up, you don't have to do that ever again if you do the real-time syncing. Sound good? Go ahead, Dave.
Is that different, or is that a new methodology? Was it before that I only put in my contacts, the people that I had in my like SOI? Now it's everybody. So
It's always been everybody to a point. Usually the huge teams that have these big disaster buyer lead lists. I can't quite do that, but you guys are just fine. All right, yes, but yes, I do want to grab everyone from your CRM, less unsubscribed and bounces. I need a fly trap. All right. Next, remember your cell phones? Did we do the cell phone exercise last week? I don't think we did. Ooh, cell phone exercise. Pull out your cell phones. Go to the App Store. I want you to type in export Covve, C-O-V-V-E. So C-O-V-V-E, export here it is, sorry. Export contacts by Covve. See that? I want you guys to pull that up on your phone, your Android store, whatever it is that you're using. Right there, if I can get the zoom right. It might cost you a couple bucks. Spend it. All right. And why don't you tell me when you install it, how many contacts you have in your phone? And I want you to export everybody out of your phone and send it to me. And I'm going to scrub all those contacts through Never Bounce, and we're going to add them to your email list and your Facebook retargeting audiences. So we're going to get everybody out of your cell phone and everybody out of your CRM. All right. Did you guys install it? How many contacts does it say you have in your phone?
I have 4,200.
I want them. Brandy, let's
2,400.
go. I want them all. This is the gut check, like really what you're doing here. I mean, you're sending emails and videos, like literally everyone you know, but great. All right,
About 1,300.
good. Send it in. So I'm going to get your CRM export, less unsubscribe bounces. I'm going to get your cell phone contacts. There's one more. Do you guys use Gmail? What do you guys use for like you're sending your daily emails? It's like Google Workplace or Outlook.
Gmail.
Outlook.
Outlook. I don't know how to do Outlook. You have to look it up. But go to contacts.google.com. You can do the same thing, Dave. So go to contacts.google.com. Excuse me. And when you're there, just go ahead and do you see where it says other contacts? See where it says other contacts on the left? I want you to click that. So it's going to like choose like everyone in your whole address book. And Dave, you'll do the same thing in Outlook, figuring out how to do it as an Outlook address book. And then if you're in Google, you're just going to click the first result here. And then you're going to click this little down button and click all. Okay. So it's going to select every single contact in the list. And then over here, you're going to click export, and it will tell you how many contacts you have in your whole system. And then you're going to export those. Got it? So I want to get everybody in your contact list. I'd like you to export as well. All right. And you're going to send that in. And then we're going to scrub it through Never Bounce to remove all the, bad emails and upload it to your Emma. And then what we do, at least I believe this is the process, but once we upload all those lists in Emma that are scrubbed, Emma will deduplicate them by email. And then we just download your entire Emma account, which is like everyone, right? And I'm going to mute Brandy out. And then we upload it as a custom audience to your Facebook. So now, at this point, what do you have? Everybody in your CRM, everybody in your cell phone, and everybody in your email account. That's literally everyone that you have any contact information for has been properly scrubbed and deduplicated in your email account, in your Facebook retargeting audiences. And anybody who visits any of your websites going forward, or really anyone that you get the pixel on, you have that audience ready to go, right? And any new people, of which I've given you a strategy to add the right people to your database, and not a bunch of, no down payment credit assistance buyers do database, all right? That the right people to your database, they're automatically get synced to your email account and your Facebook ad account. You guys digging? Like, this is powerful stuff. If you realize the weight of what you have here of this, how do I get people from my haven't mets, move them to my mets, which is when you put them in your database of the right people, and making sure that they're going to receive all your 36 touch marketing going forward. Okay. Cool. All right. There's one last thing. We'll talk more about this, I believe, it's one of the more important things we're going to talk about. But that's going to be in lesson 5. Lesson 5, we're going to talk about using direct mail to stay in touch with your Mets, not haven't Mets. But we've already covered, mailing everybody your haven't Mets. But I'm talking like your real Mets. We're going to send a monthly letter to your database, but we're not going to send to everybody because it's expensive, right? A couple bucks per letter. So we basically are going to use digital to email everybody, and retarget everybody. Got it? But it's not that great. I have no idea if your most important contacts are going to see you on social media. No clue. I have no way to prove it. As far as I know, it's Russian bots reading everything. Okay. In addition to that, email, you might be lucky if 30% actually open it. I can pretty much guarantee you 70% of your database will not see you through email. Right? No way around it. So, how are you going to stay in touch with your most important contacts? How? If social media is like, I don't know if they saw it. An email is like, odds are against me, they'll see it. Literally, it's going to be mail, a physical letter. So we'll talk about this again later, but one of the things I'd want you to think about, and maybe you can start doing now, is coming up with a list of your top 150. 150 is a good place to start. Who are all the people that are actually thinking about selling their home the next year or two? Who are all the people that are actually thinking about buying a home the next year or two? Okay. Who are all your past clients that have actually referred you? Who are all of your most important contacts in your life that have high economic value to you, that are worth maybe spending $1 a month on, put in their mailbox so they remember you? That's going to be just a Google sheet of a first name, last name, street address, city, state, zip. And the challenge with that, the reason no one does this is because you probably don't have the mailing addresses of those people, let alone want to take the amount of emotional labor to come up with a list in the first place. You know? So yeah, you have to do the emotional labor to come up with a list. And then you probably have to reach out to them and ask them. It's almost like sending a wedding invitation. Hey, what's your best mailing address? Oh, you get married? Yeah. Right. I think it's like literally the only time anyone ever reaches out to me to like ask for my mailing address now, because it's a wedding invitation, right? From someone like in your past. But we'll talk more about that. But that is another list you need, is you do need your in-house mailing list. So you have your retargeting lists, you have your email list, but you also need your in-house mailing list. And that's going to be your monthly letter that I want you guys to send every month to your top contacts. All right.
What size do you
8.5 by
think?
11. Oh, I'm sorry.
what-
150. There's a reason for that. I forget what it's called. It's not Darwin. No, 150 people. What is that? Dunbar's number. It's Dunbar's number. Google Dunbar's number. So I didn't come up with that. You could probably have 150 meaningful contacts in your life as a human being. You'll have 50, you'll have 5 people you love. You'll have 15 good friends. You'll have 50 friends. You'll have 150 meaningful contacts, 500 acquaintances, and 1,500 people you can recognize. Is that interesting? So I'm going to recommend, based upon this theory, all right, just 150 to start. Maybe if you have more money, yeah, I mean, make it larger. Put all your past clients on there, right? But just start there. That's going to run you maybe $200 a month to mail. Got that volume. How's that, Rob? Does that help? Dunbar's number?
That does. And you'll
Yeah.
mail that out for us?
I will, 100%, because I don't trust email and social media. I don't. I can't even begin to tell you how many times Facebook like refunds us, where it's like, oh yeah, all that data we were giving you was like all lies, and you got like in trouble. So here's a big refund on your account. I get like those messages inside my account. All right.
Frank, I have a few questions if you don't mind.
Good.
Okay, the first one is when we're sending the databases into Viral, like are they going to be separated? Like these are my 150, and then these are from my phone. These are from
Now we're gonna throw it all in one big list. No joke. So when you send me all your inside your email account, as far as I'm concerned, it's one list, and it's Brandy's list. It's the master nurture list that everyone gets. I don't care who they are. They're all getting the 2 videos a month and monthly lead gen email. So we just merge them all into one. There's no segmentation. Got it? The mailing list will probably already be in the email list, but the mailing list, the physical mailing list, we just keep on a Google sheet because you're gonna have returned mail and we keep that updated, keep that real tight, print it. We just share that with you. So again, we'll cover this. I have a whole hour on this on direct mail to your list later in the class, but it's just a Google sheet in your Google Drive folder that we share with you, where it's like, okay, it's time to send your monthly letter. We just download the Google sheet and mail it to that. Mailing a letter is really, or at least from a principle standpoint, the same concept as sending an email. I mean, you pull list, make PDF, send, right? Email list, make email, send. Except for email, we use my Emma, and letters, we use ITI direct mail.
Okay, got you. So phone contacts that we send in.
Yeah, we're all going to merge them all with your CRM. It's going to CRM contacts, address book, one list.
Okay, but I'm just making sure that the mailing to the 150 is going to be our
Separate
actual
spreadsheet.
one separate spreadsheet. Okay.
Separate spreadsheet.
And then the second question is, in order to sync like the mail out that we're talking about, in order to sync those people with the CRM, like, is it not until they respond that we sync them, or is it when we get their information?
Oh, it's when they respond to your haven't met marketing. So the question is when does a haven't met become a met? When do you put somebody into your database? I'm going to give you the answer. Are you ready? It's when you have their permission. It's when they respond. That's important. That's an important distinction. When does someone go into sync? Well, it's when or sync. It's when they opt in. It's when they register for service, right? It's an internet lead. When does someone go into follow-up boss? When does someone go to? It's when permission takes place. Hey, yes, I am responding to you. I am calling you. I am an inbound lead. I am reaching out, or I've given you permission to stay in touch. We are not, this is what we are not going to do. We are not going to take all the homeowners in Pflugerville and just throw them on cold the viral marketing plan.
And so in effect, we're using my Emma as the mail. That's where the entire list lives. And that becomes the mail list or the source of the mailings, and the CRM functions as the development of the signups or the Mets.
No. You're not going to put anyone in your haven't met list. So in your farms, they don't go in your CRM.
But they go in my Emma.
No, they're not. They only go into my Emma when they respond to the advertising. In your case, they're only going to go into your CRM when they register for the workshop.
Okay, so I've appended the emails and I've sent them the letter, and I want to email them a message about the workshop.
So you want to cold email them a message about the workshop. You'll send that through Eventbrite, not my Emma.
Okay.
I know.
No, that's good.
Yeah. This is important because in your database then just becomes a disaster where you start just ripping off all these cold lists and throwing it in there. Then you're just in effect spamming everyone on viral marketing. The reality is that you only want to put them on the viral marketing plan if they already know who you are in some way. So I'm going to go by the loosest definition. Everybody that's in your Google contacts, everybody that's in your CRM, everybody that's in your phone. By the loosest definition, we'll start there. And then going forward, we're going to build your database with the right people. And they only go on your database. They move from a haven't met to a met when there's permission. So you're building a permission-based database. Got it? That's not to say you can't cold call people. It's not to say you can't cold email people. It's not to say you can't cold door knock. It's not to say you can't advertise and prospect. No, that's certainly what we're going to do in lesson 1, but that's going to be outside of your CRM. Don't put those people in the CRM. Don't put them on the viral plan. Only when they respond to whatever cold advertising or marketing do you do, they go into your CRM. Got it? That's an important distinction. And then last but not least, what we will do once we load up all of these contacts into your email program is we'll send them a reconnect message to kind of thin the herd a bit. We'll write a simple message where it's like, hey, it's Dave. I'm writing you because we know each other in business. I'm still in real estate, blah, 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 blah. Here's what's going on with the market. If you want to find out what your home is worth, you can click here. If you want a cash offer, you can click here. You can look forward to getting some helpful videos from me going in the future. I just want to send this email out and say hi. So we send out a kind of light-hearted, easy, plain text reconnect message when we have your first giant list on hand. Because it's kind of weird if they just all these people on the blue just get some random video from you about real estate, right? So that's it. That's lesson 2. So lesson 1, how do you build your list of people who will pay you? Go watch it again. Direct response marketing. That's what gets the phone to ring, not branding. You're better off doing direct response marketing to bring them into the database and branding only to the people in your existing database. It gets really expensive and really risky when you try to do branding to strangers. Okay? That's a different level. We do direct response advertising to bring them into the database, and then we run branding and videos and touch stuff like that once they're in the list. Got it? Brandy, do you have any questions for today about let's get everything set up so we can start publishing things to your list and getting your touch program out to your database?
Yeah, I think mainly I kind of want to talk to you about the letter and what exactly the letter is going to say. I'm going to watch some of the videos of the gentleman that you sent to get some ideas. Maybe I will put something together and send it your way just for you to have some eyes on it.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
It's terrifying, right? Like, I'm going to spend all this money. I'm going to write this letter, do this cold camp. Like, what's the message you're going to go out to all these strangers with?
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you look again, as long as you follow the principles, I will tell you this. This is a really great story. Well, I won't even say the story. The lesson of the story is your marketing can really be completely terrible if people really need it. So if you're mailing a list of desperate homeowners, it doesn't really matter what you say. They're going to respond. Okay?
Yeah.
You're much better off finding a people that are desperate that to need immediately the solution you provide is like the most important thing. And then you can really screw up the messaging and still make it work. Got it? So don't overthink the message too much. Just be very clear. Do you have this problem? I can solve it. Here's how to respond. This is what you're going to get. That's a direct response message. It's almost like an infomercial. Okay. It's more important that you put that message, even maybe how much you screw it up, let's say, in front of somebody who has the real pain. And usually in real estate, if you only pull a small list, which I would say under 1,000, nobody in there has the pain. Nobody wants to move because it's only 500, right?
Well,
Whereas,
that makes me wonder if the other is better, the going to the distressed sellers, because then you know that they
100%.
have the pain. So, I mean, I wonder if that's the more successful campaign. If,
well, just there won't be many. So you're lucky in Phoenix that the Phoenix just generally has more. In Mesa, it's a big town. If you're going to target Pflugerville, there's only going to be a couple. All right.
Gotcha.
So yeah, make
Okay.
sure you add them to the list. I would absolutely add all the old expireds, add the old distressed properties, et cetera, et cetera. But again, I always want you to err on the side that the reality here is you need to reach a lot of people to find someone who wants to sell their home soon. There's no way around it. Okay. We got to keep that in mind. Again, I just keep using gambling examples. It's just so interesting. It's like the odds are literally in your favor at the blackjack table. But if you only play 5 hands, I don't think it might work. Right? There's a level of amount you need. Dave likes that being in Vegas. All right, that's all we got. Do you guys have any other questions for me before we go on to next week? All right. Yeah, our entire company watches these, and we'll make sure that we execute everything that we talk about today. And next week we're going to talk about, I believe, your your videos. Picking some good topics. All right, guys. I appreciate you.
Awesome. Thank you, Frank.
Bye. Later.